Hello and welcome to the Tech Nuggets YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about the different IP addresses that your computer needs to know. Here are the IP addresses that your computer needs to know for it to be able to successfully operate in the network where it belongs. The computer needs to have an Internet Protocol address or an IP address that is manually configured or assigned automatically by the network. This address should be a valid address from the subnet where the computer is a member of. As required by the IP protocol standards, another IP address always accompanies the IP address. This address is called the subnet mask. The subnet mask defines the subnet where the computer properly belongs. It is used to determine if the destination IP address is within the network or outside of it. If the destination is outside its network, the computer needs to know the IP address of the computer where the data needs to be sent. A subnet is composed of sequential IP addresses called the IP address range. The subnet mask defines the range of the addresses included in the subnet. And when we say range, it means it has a beginning address and an ending address. The first IP address in the range is called the network address. Being also an IP address itself, the network address likewise has an accompanying subnet mask which helps us to discover which part of the address is the network part and which portion is the host part. The network address is mainly used by networking equipment in transferring data from one network to another. The last address in the IP address range is the broadcast address. It carries the highest number in the host portion of the address range. The broadcast address is intended for sending data to all hosts in the subnet. Every host in the subnet will take note when a broadcast data is sent over the network medium. When your computer is booted up, it normally doesn't have an IP address, and so it sends a broadcast message for another computer that can provide one. This computer is called the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol Server, or the DHCP server. Its function is to distribute IP addresses that your computer needs for it to function properly within the network. The IP address given are time-bound and are actually considered as address leases. Your computer needs to know to which host it should refer to when it needs to translate domain names to IP addresses. This IP address refers to a domain name system server or DNS server whose function is to convert domain names to IP addresses and IP addresses to domain names. The last IP address that your computer needs to have is the one that points to a gateway where it should forward data that are destined outside of the subnet. This address is where data from the local network destined for the internet is normally sent. Your computer needs an IP address in the subnet mask and the IP address of the DNS and gateway computers in your network for it to function properly. You can manually configure these addresses to your computer, but it normally gets these addresses from the DHCP server in your network. Once these IP addresses are set up, your computer can then perform its normal networking activities. I hope you gain a little knowledge of networking and a few insights on how network works from this short discussion. Thanks for coming over, and I hope to see you again soon.